Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is Loretta Sernowski from Remax Costa Del Mar, and today we have a very entertaining show for you coming up. I have the one and only Jose Boo. He is the owner of the Boobar here in Rocky Point in the Malecon. Welcome to the show, Jose.
Hi, Loretta. Hi to everybody watching, and it's nice, and I can't wait for this. What's going to happen on the show, and I guess we're just going to pretty much freestyle it,
We
and
are.
I'm ready. I'm ready for all your listeners and your watchers, your viewers, and yourself. So let's do this.
I know you have a big following that goes to the Boo Bar and stuff, but for people who don't know about the Boo Bar or don't know much of your history, how long have you been there? How long have you had the Boo Bar? Has it always been there? Have you always been
Well,
the owner?
well, no, the Boo Bar started in '06, so it's been around for 17 and a half years. I was not the original owner. I came in a couple months after it opened, and so as you can see, it's been around for a long time. We suffered a recession. We went through a recession. We went through COVID and a couple of different downfalls. But here we are, and basically the Boo Bar is just a place to hang out and have some cocktails and have a good lunch, have a good dinner, and a great sunset.
Yeah, of
And
course, right on the water.
yeah, correct. So of course, zero obstructions. So that's what makes it the best. There's a lot of different perks to the Boo Bar, and I think that's probably the best one is the sunsets and zero obstructions. So
Yeah.
and the people that come in too. The people that come in pretty cool.
Okay, this might be a stupid question, but since you weren't the owner of the Boo Bar, then and you're Jose Boo, why was it called the Boo Bar? Did you change the name?
No, never change the name. The name just fits the profile because of the bamboos and the decoration. It just totally fits. So there's no need to change the name. And Jose Boo, obviously, most people know that Boo is not my real last name,
I
but
didn't
on
know
Facebook,
that.
on Facebook, nothing's real, right?
So I guess we won't ask you what your real name is because we don't want to blow your cover,
And maybe Sernowski. I don't know.
right? So how did you get involved and what inspired you to open the bar? And were you always in the hospitality industry?
Yeah, for a while, basically just freelancing from bartending to waitering, and before you know it, I ended up at the Boo Bar.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you're at the right place at the right time, and an opportunity knocked and opened the door. So I went in, and here we are 17 and a half years later. Actually, um, 16 and a half years later, because it was a year later after I started that became a partner here at the Boo Bar. And ever since then, like I mentioned, we had our ups and downs, and but the Boo Bars remain the same. Um, same style of people, I guess, come in. Same type of people come in. Everybody's super cool. That's the one thing, good thing about the Boo Bar. Super cool people come in. Obviously, the building itself has changed. We've added to it. We added a back patio to it and a front patio. But other than that, I mean, the Boo Bar's still been the same thing for almost 18 years now.
That's what makes it great. So
Yeah, yeah.
you when you were a little kid, did you like is this what you aspired to be a business person or when did you decide that that's what you wanted to do?
Oh no, I couldn't get past or tripping on my bike and shooting doves with my BB gun. I mean, just like any other boy, right?
But were you
But
killing them to cook them? Maybe that
no,
was
yeah.
part of it.
No, as a kid, I mean, I played sports. I played football, and you just, I don't know. There was never really a point in my life where I thought that I would be in this position that I'm at now. I'm a welder by trade, so I welded for a couple of years, and all of a sudden I end up doing this. And this was super fun. I mean, this has been one of the best jobs I've ever had. Um, between waitering and bartending being my number one position. It's fun. You can make some decent money doing it, and again, above all, you meet some really good people. So no, I don't know. Really, just kind of ended up in this position by default. But hey, who am I to say no?
Yeah, of course. So tell us about living and working in Rocky Point. Is it have its challenges? Is it pretty easygoing?
Wow. Um,
I know that's sort of a loaded question because in your
Where do
life?
I start? Do I start? What section town do I start in? I mean, um, overall, I think Rocky Point is a great place to raise a family. I think there are a lot of great family values here, especially amongst the locals. And as long as people leave their bad attitudes, bad habits, political views, and blah 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 at the border. I mean, Rocky Point will always be a good place to hang out. It'll always be a great place, and again, a great place to raise a family. There's some really good private schools here in town for any family who wants to move down here, and especially now that it's really accessible and it's really fairly easy to move down here. And of course, speaking of money wise, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to live down here than it is in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that Rocky Point has its perks then, and as far as like the downsides of Rocky Point, well, we all know there's some things I can't talk about, and then there are the other things that I can talk about. But other than that, I mean, Rocky Point has like this small town feel during the weekday, and then like this big city feel on the weekend, and it's almost like you get the best of both worlds. So, but I guess maybe the biggest downside for me living here in a small town is everything is so far. So we're like on this deserted little island where our next biggest town is either Phoenix, Tucson, or Mexicali. And if you want to do any type of decent shopping, well, that's where you got to go to. So it's kind of hard sometimes getting supplies here, especially for a restaurant bar or
Yeah.
just for personal shopping.
Is that,
And
do you feel that that's gotten better though the last few years? Like as far as us having more things, like I noticed in the grocery store, there's more things that, we couldn't get a few years ago that we can now. So I don't know, maybe it's just me.
yeah, obviously infrastructure gets better and things get better as years go by and as growth comes along. I still think that it'd be nice to have like I don't know maybe like a Home Depot or something like that. But yeah, things are coming along. We have a Sam's Club now, and I guess there's talks of other businesses coming in as well. And yeah, um, as things grow, other things, amenities will start coming in and start flowing. Some people don't want that. Also, some people don't want to change. They wanted to stay
People
small.
don't
They want to.
grow.
But let's just yeah, exactly. But let's just
They
face
don't
it. It's not
understand
the
that. They don't understand that, like growth helps people feed their kids. Like if you don't have anybody coming to your restaurant and we're just a sleepy little village, you're not going to survive. Like we all need that work here,
correct.
and it's how we get a better infrastructure. It's how we're going to be able to fix certain things and get better roads. And you know, I heard something that Home Depot is coming, so who knows?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we
exactly,
can get the
exactly.
cruise ship or the Home Depot. Which one do you want?
Well, one's a fantasy and one's a possibility. Take your guess.
Not sure. So I know you mentioned family, and I know you have kids. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, yeah, I've got two great kids, and speaking about schools, they are both in Montessori, kind of like what my buddy Darren right now was saying.
Uh-huh.
For your viewers, I got my two buddies here, Juan Roque and Darren Jordan, who are two ex NFL football players. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here next to me. Hopefully, they'll get a chance to say hi to your viewers here. Please.
Oh, I will have you guys on. I know. My next question I was gonna ask you about certain events that I know you give a lot to the community, and you're very actively involved in helping out in the community. So you have one of your events that we were just talking about before is your football clinic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and introduce your boys there?
Sure, sure. So this all stemmed from me sponsoring a baseball clinic that happens every year. Pete Harding, he does a baseball clinic, and along with Troy Pierce, they do a baseball clinic every year. And being a sponsor there, and then ultimately getting involved little by little, we thought about doing a football clinic. Well, I ended up meeting this guy Juan Roque, who's like the biggest Mexican that I've ever seen, and he's like I don't want to exaggerate, but he's like 9'7", I think, or something like that. And so, in talking with him, we had both the same ideas and the same dreams. And here we go. Before we know it, we met up with Darren Jordan, And here's all three of us put our heads together, and bam! Before you know it, here we created a football clinic out of nothing, basically. So, um, and one of the funny, and that's where this is where I think Rocky Point lacks at a lot is in funding, especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
There are a lot of talented kids here in town, and you name the sports, whether it be volleyball, baseball, soccer. There's a lot of talented kids here in sports here in town, but unfortunately, zero funding. So that's one of the issues that we're going through right now. And for those who don't know about the Boobar, we have this wheel that that we charge $2 a spin, and you can win a prize or you can dance on the or support beam or whatever. But all those $2, all that spin, every spin goes towards the sports here in town, towards
I
the
did
kids.
not
There's a
know
couple.
that. I did not know that.
Correct. Yeah, every $2. So every drink that's given out because of the wheel, that comes out of the Boo Bar. The Boo Bar donates that, and but all the $2 go continuously go to the sports here in town. It might especially here now is towards this football clinic that Darren, Juan, and myself created. So yeah, so that's where I think we used to donate a lot to a lot of different charities in town, but we started finding out that sports is where it was mostly needed. So that's where all the money goes into some type of sports here in Rocky Point.
Okay, so for Americans and Canadians that are watching, they may not even realize that this is a concern for the town. How would they get involved and how would they donate to sports? Like, where would they even start?
So that's where we're currently. Well, one of the ways to do it is they can come in the boo bar and spin the wheel.
But I mean, on a bigger scale.
Yeah, exactly. And anything that comes off is to our pleasure, of course. But but anyways, but if not, so what we're currently doing right now, and I don't know if it's allowed or not. I don't know if my buddy Juan can elaborate on this, but he is currently starting a 501c up in the U.S. so we can hopefully start raising some funds and for this, not just this particular charity, but for many to come and many present that are here also right now. So that's one of the ways to is to just reach out. Is anybody feels like they want to contribute to the sports of Rocky Point, feel free to reach out. I'm pretty active on Facebook,
Yeah.
and anybody's more than happy to come in here to the Boo Bar also and just drop a couple coins into the bucket and we'll make sure that it goes to where it should be.
What about, is there like an opportunity for people, if say if they wanted to donate equipment or anything like that? Is there a need for that?
Yes, and all types of equipment. I would have to basically right now, for example, Juan and Darren were as our go-to guys in the U.S. for our football clinic, and Pete and Troy are our go-to guys for the baseball clinic. Right now, Pete brings down a bunch of equipment from the U.S., a bunch of donated equipment from the U.S., and basically that's the equipment that's used throughout the baseball clinic as the drills go with the kids and blah blah blah, and then it's all left down here. I mean, tons of balls, tons of bats, tons of gloves, and it's all left down here for distribution. The coaches take care of distribution amongst the kids, and every year the same thing happens. So as a football clinic, as we get started, then that's one of the things that we're definitely looking forward to is looking for some donations, and hopefully by then, together with the 501c, hopefully with the American 501c and the Mexican 501c, hopefully by then we can make things a lot easier to get through the border also, because um, that's one of the other hiccups that we have is trying to get stuff across the border as well.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's become sometimes an obstacle.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, what about so what do they have for football for kids now? What is there? What age level? What teams are there?
So right now, our first year, we started off here in Rocky Point, and basically all kids were available. And there's no full contact team here in Rocky Point, so it was basically running drills with flag football teams. I believe there was 13, somewhere right around 13 or 14 different teams here in town, and hardworking kids that are basically playing on the dirt, Loretta. I mean, you should see some of the conditions that they played in. It's harsh. There's dedication there.
Is there a
Um,
football field here?
Not technically a football field, zoned for and specifically for football, but there was a couple of soccer fields that they play flag football on,
Wow.
and basically just cut in half. I mean, 50 yarders, and that's it.
Wow. So would that be something that, like, I mean, an actual field? Would that?
Apparently, Juan and I we had talked to the mayor last year or 2 years ago. We talked to the mayor, and he had designated a field for specifically for the flag football kids of town. But still, it's a piece of dirt. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it needs a lot of help. So that's one of our goals is hopefully someday figure out a way how to help these kids out, and maybe even put in some turf or something like that, and make it an official football field, right? Instead of it being a baseball field and the diamond there and whatever, But that's one of many goals that we have here in town.
That's great. That's so admirable. I know we need a new scoreboard for the baseball team too.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's a lot of
That's
fun.
another thing.
I love going to the baseball game. Like I'm like, oh, it's, I know that everybody we have Barb's Dog Rescue and everyone contributes
Yeah,
lots to the dog rescue and it's great. But we have kids that need help.
yeah,
And anybody who has kids knows that kids in sports, they stay out of trouble and they have a more disciplined um, life. They have better chances to make it in life.
yeah. I've got two guys next to me here, Loretta, that can totally contest to that. Um, and I mean, 100% contest to the fact that it may have saved their lives. I mean, their speeches when they give out their speeches during our football clinics. I mean, they're so full of motivation, and it just gets anybody who want to get their kids involved into.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking about football here, but not just football, but literally into any sport that's available. And here in Rocky Point, again, the biggest and the hardest thing to deal with is the funding.
Yeah, and I think we just take it for granted as
Yeah.
Canadians and Americans because it's there. Like you don't have to worry about where you're going to play football, where you're going to get shoes, where you're going to get a bat. So definitely.
Yeah,
Do you want to
yeah, for
introduce
sure.
your friends there? Are they shy, or do they want to come on camera and say hi?
Oh, they're not shy at all. Here, give me 1 second. Here's the one Roque.
Hello.
You want to grab
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, so the project is really to do everything we can to get the kids not only excited about football, but to give them that avenue and that ability to channel that energy into something positive and be part of something that's bigger than themselves. Team
When
sports gives that.
maybe Jose said this, but when is the clinic again?
Our next clinic is, I believe, the third week of February. I'm not too sure of the date yet. We're actually finalizing those details now.
Okay, great.
That will be in Hermosillo. So we're still working out the minutia of that and all the little details, but should be special. We had a nice time with the kids last year in Hermosillo, so we're looking forward to going back in February.
Super. And who's the other guy?
And so this is Darren Jordan, who we
Hi.
talked to before.
Yeah, we've spoken before.
No, but now everyone sees you.
Now he's official.
Oh, now I'm official. Hello, everyone. Darren Jordan, San Francisco 49ers, one of Super Bowl 29. And, my passion is really just giving back to the kids as much as I can. I've been blessed to win a Super Bowl in a very unique way. And I've people around me that share the same passion that I do. I'm here in Mexico quite a bit. So these guys are like, hey, come on board. And, we jive and we enjoy life. We enjoy life and we bring energy. We bring a lot of energy. That's for
And
sure.
I got one important question for you. Who's your prediction to win the Super Bowl this year?
49ers. I mean, that's even the issue. The 49ers.
That was an obvious answer, right?
Is there anybody else? Who are you thinking?
Hey,
49ers.
remember, I'm Canadian, so we have our own CFL league.
Yeah, but you're still thinking San Francisco for the US.
Of course.
Okay. Done.
Of
I
course.
appreciate that.
Of course, man, of course.
It's all good.
I
Well,
used to
listen,
have, believe it, when I was in grade 7, I used to have a San Francisco 49ers sweatshirt, and I was my favorite shirt in the whole world.
Well, we'll see if we can get you another one
Deal.
or
And
something
thank
of
you
some
guys
sort.
so
All right?
much for your help on this clinic. I'll certainly do everything that I can, and just keep us updated on that. Jose,
100%.
I got a boot club.
Jose, I want to ask you a couple more questions about your bar.
Already got it off.
So, can you tell me about your menu? Like, where did you get? How do you get your menu? What is your influence for what's on the menu? What's kind of like some of your favorite items there? I know I have your whole fried fish is like my favorite in the whole city. I always take clients for that. It's just like the freshest. It's so good. But what else?
You know, and that keeps getting more and more popular. Also, I'm not a seafood guy, so I don't know how you can eat this shit. I don't know all this stuff, but either way, I'm a carnivore, so I love our burgers. But anyways, our menus, it's kind of extensive, but at the same time it isn't. Pretty much seafood, your shrimp, your basic shrimp, clams, oysters, fish can be cooked up in many different ways. And then we have, of course, our bar food, which is like your chicken baskets and our and burgers and stuff like that. And again, you know, the best part about the Boobar is being here next to the sunset, here on literally right on the water, zero obstructions to Baja California. And I mean, on a day like this, it's kind of cloudy, you can't see it, but most of the time you can see Baja California in the distance.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat.
It's
That's
great.
pretty cool.
The swings, I think one of the unique things about swings are super fun.
Exactly. My buddies think it's a death trap I built there for them, but
I have seen people fall off there.
that's a lie. I've never seen. That's never happened before.
Oh, we got a comment from my colleague.
Yes.
He says, "We love your menudo on cold Sundays."
Oh my God! I wish I had a menu. It's pozole. He must mean our pozole.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
He
And,
must be talking about our
the
pozole.
yummy shakes. The yummy shakes.
What?
What?
Or shakes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's though. You know, here
Like
recently,
what?
Loretta, we're here recently. What we focused on is trying to focus on. I know it may sound weird to some people, but we try to focus on a little bit more on the families, and as we done in our back patio, we did away with our stage back there, and we ended up putting this type of jungle gym there for kids to play on, and
Yeah.
so far it's been a total success. Families love it, kids love it. It keeps them occupied forever, because at the end of the day, we know what it's checkout time when those kids tell us it's checkout time,
Yeah.
and when they're bored and just
Right.
whatever, it's time for us to go, and it doesn't matter how much fun we're having. It's time for us to go. So we figure out a way to how to keep these kids here a little bit longer. Not so much the adults, but how to keep the kids here a little bit longer. And how do we do that? We got to occupy them. We got to keep them occupied. We got to keep them entertained with something. And I think what it did, it just kept everybody here an hour, 2 hours longer. And
Yeah.
so far, it's been absolutely fantastic. And so towards that, we add a kids menu, and here we go.
Sure.
And we're starting to roll with our families now.
Well, then the adults can sit down and, check out the water, have a margarita while the kids burn themselves out on the jungle gym.
Exactly. By the time you get them home, what do those kids want to do?
Sleep.
They can thank me later.
What is what would you say is in your eyes, your most memorable achievement with your business, or something an event or something that you did is that you're very proud of?
Oh my God. We've held, in 17, almost 18 years, we've done a lot for the community. We've done a lot of charity fundraisers here. We've sponsored a bunch of different things. But to say if there's just one, I don't know. I don't. I would have to think about that. You got me stumped, Loretta. You
You know
stumped
what
me.
the one that we did, that you and I did, remember during COVID, we did that with the chefs?
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah, that's one of the memorable ones for sure.
it was fun, and it was during a tough time, life in general. So thank you again for that, because you did such a good job in pulling that together with Engelbert and the boys. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was one of those memorable events for sure. With Neftali, Engelbert. I can't remember. Oh my God, I can't remember the chef's name.
Mark.
Yes, Mark. Correct.
Yeah.
Mark. our celebrity chef, and I couldn't remember his name.
It
Shit.
was so much fun. And
Damn
thank God
drugs.
we made enough money for her to have her surgery, and she's walking around. So that's the
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So
Exactly.
being Mexico's most eligible bachelor, how do you how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running your business?
Well, um, Jesus Christ. Well, I do. I'm not a bachelor. I do have a girlfriend.
Okay, well,
So,
a few
uh,
hearts out there tonight.
so how do I balance my time between her and the bar? Well,
Sure.
unfortunately, bar's number one, and everything else is number two, and my girls are up there with the bar, and and Juan's probably a close three.
So do you have any plans for expanding your business or opening a second location, or what's coming up in the future for you?
Loretta, I was just talking about this to somebody yesterday, and for years, people and Americans in general, a lot of my buddies are from the Arizona and the California area. A lot of their dream is to have a bar in the Sea of Cortez here in Rocky Point, and I've had a lot of people I'll offer, throw me money, let's open up another. But in reality, Loretta, I think that I enjoy my free time, and any free time I can spend with my girls,
I get it.
um, I'll take advantage of. And I think any more than what I have now would take time away from that. So if you ask if I'm interested in opening up something else or if I ever would, probably not. And that being the main reason because I don't want it to take time away from my girls right now. We spend a lot of time together, as much time as we can together, whether it's watching TV, going on riding quads or whatever. That to me that's number one, and that's who I take care of the most. Obviously, the bar is what gives me the means to do all this, but no second locations, no. And if anybody wants to franchise a Boobar, well, maybe we can talk about doing something like
There
that.
you
But
go. The
is
Boobar
this my
going
is this my time right here to try to sell my place?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I could see a Boobar in Gilbert or down there someplace like that.
There was talks years ago about doing something like that, but that's all I ever went to. Again, I'm not really interested in putting any more energy into a second location or a different bar or something. This one here is good enough. I try to. I think I take really good care of my staff, and they're the ones that also give me my free time to eventually to um, to enjoy my time with my girls. And I couldn't do that. I don't think I can do that with two bars. It just I don't even want to think about the headache of trying to juggle two different things at once.
And so your staff, has everyone been there for a long time?
Yeah, yeah. I've got one guy that's been here for 11, probably going on 12 years now, and he's already threatened me to never leave me. So I guess I'm stuck with this guy for a while, and then others that have been here for years as well. I have a couple new staff, but in reality, I guess that comes with the territory. People come and go, but I've got a couple that have been around for a couple years, and I feel very fortunate that they're happy with their job, and obviously they're happy with me. If not, they would have left a long time ago.
Yeah, of course. And I know that's one of the challenges of owning
Yeah.
a bar is the HR. And are you currently looking for people, or are you always looking for people, or you're good that way?
No, I'm good right now. I got a full staff.
Good.
It's been a while. It comes in spurts though. It seems to come in 4 year increments. Every 4 years, I get a good staff like I got right now. I got a good group, and then it'll kind of fizzle out in about 2 or 3 years, and it'll take me another 4 years to get another really good staff.
Well, because
So,
they get older and they don't want to work in the bar anymore.
and I don't blame them. Neither do I.
No,
But I don't got a
That's
choice.
what happened to me. I used to be a sugar girl at a country bar, and after a while, you're like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I got to go to school and get a real job, which I didn't, which is why I'm selling real estate. But
But you're on the beach, so it's all good.
yeah, of course.
But here in Mexico or here in Rocky Point, should I say, yeah, it's a way of life for a lot of people, and it's
Yeah.
a way of life for a very long time. And you can make a pretty good living at doing it. But
Yeah,
also,
compared to
Rocky
other,
Point,
yeah,
correct. You
other,
could also be steered, just like anywhere other place. You could also be steered the wrong way, and say goodbye to those 100, 200, 300 bucks that you just made that day. So it's just like anywhere else. You can make really good money doing that, and you just got to budget and take care of yourself.
yeah. So I'm sure that a lot of younger people, you inspire them because you're such a success in the community. And I have seen some guys that went from bartender to opening up their own place and stuff like that. And so for guys watching or girls watching that want to follow sort of in your footsteps, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, so I tell my staff, when you leave me, because sooner or later everybody's gonna leave me. When you leave me, I wish for two things. And the number one thing I wish for is I wish something better for you. Because after all, everybody deserves better. And the number two is don't shut the door behind you. And unfortunately, people just get that door and just slam it most of the time. But to those who better themselves is to keep going, and sooner or later you'll find that equilibrium, and to where you enjoy your time, and not kill yourself.
Right.
I worked here a lot of years, for a lot of hours a day. I'm sleeping underneath the stage. I sacrificed a lot, and I sacrificed a lot of my personal time. I sacrificed a lot more than anybody would probably ever know. But here I am. I got two great little girls I can enjoy my free time with instead of sleeping under the stage now, and and I'm happy. I'm content, and there's nothing else I think I would want. I think I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and I don't need the world. I just need a small little piece of it.
Is there something that you would do differently, having if you had to do it over again?
Um, in my life in general, or with the Boobar, or
Both.
oh my God, Loretta, what are you talking about? Oh
It's not a
God.
3 hour show.
um, it- yeah, I was. Yeah, I wish I would have. How could I say this? I wish I wouldn't have been. Um, um, can I cuss?
Sure. We don't. There's no. It's not. There's no regulations on this.
Oh, okay, it's not like no, it would surprise
Guys,
anybody.
you posted
Anyways,
off Facebook so many times. What's another time?
I think if I would have not been such a fuckhead for so many years of my life, and grown up a little bit sooner, I think I would have been better off. I wish you just listened to all those lessons, and everything that all the elders try to teach you when you're younger, and you just don't, because you don't give a shit, and you just think your shit doesn't stink. So
Yeah,
I wish I would have learned before that.
that's funny that you say that because I was actually just talking to one of my clients, about kids. Like I saw some kids that were 16 and they have a relationship already, and it's like you're missing out on just having fun with your buddies and friends. Like, don't rush into things. But
Yeah.
when you're that age, you're not going to listen to old people.
Yeah, exactly, and it sucks, and now we're the old people trying to teach the
Yeah,
younger ones,
of
and they're
course.
not listening to us either.
No, no, they gotta. That's life. They just gotta live it on their own and do their own
Yeah,
thing.
and one of these days, Loretta, I'll introduce you to Juan, and I would love for him to talk to you about how he grew up, and it's just a great motivation for any kid who's possibly having a hard time in their life, and just you find your niche, whether his niche was sports, and you find your niche wherever that may be, and you get your head out of your ass and you move forward, and everybody trips and falls, and you get up, and you keep moving forward.
And he goes around and speaks. He does speaking all over, doesn't he?
He does. He does. And if he did more of it, I think it would be better off for the world.
Right. Well,
But
maybe we can have a fundraising dinner with those guys.
yes, ma'am. Name it. Just name it when.
Lots of people would want to hear what they have to say, and I think that the fact that you brought up that we have a concern for the kids here in sports. I think that's not very well known, in my opinion. And I think if more people knew that, then more people would be willing to step up to the plate, basically, and help out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very few of those visitors that we get that actually decide to come out of this box, I want to call this tourist box, and actually get out into the town, go out and see what the other side of town is like.
Yeah.
I mean, and most people don't bother. I don't know if they think about it. I don't know if they don't care, or who knows.
Most of the time, they don't know,
Or
to be honest.
maybe it's not. Maybe they'll think it's safe, or who knows. But
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to take anybody wherever they need to go and show them exactly what town is. Look, this is where the workforce is at, and
Right.
obviously we're in the tourism side of town, but there's this whole other Rocky Point where all the workforce lives. These are where my employees live at, and this is how they live, and so forth and so forth. And it's they would see the contrast from
Yeah.
going from from Sandy Beach to that.
Yeah. So this is my coworker in Scottsdale, Sonny Melky. I don't know if you remember, I brought him and
Yes.
his friends. That's the first time we went there, and we they really like the swings, and they cannot stop talking about your bar. So anytime he's coming to Rocky Point, he's like, "Let's go to the Boobar."
Miss you, Sonny. We need to have shots soon.
So on the personal side, are you still doing lots of scuba diving?
I try to do as much as I can. I don't do very much here in town, but I try to go south and try to scuba dive down around the Playa del Carmen area. I don't do much saltwater diving anymore. It's mostly freshwater, and I find that I like diving caves, and I like going into these holes, these dark holes, and the the tighter the better. For some reason, I don't know, and the smaller the holes, the better. But that's what I found, the type of diving that I found myself liking. And I want to say hi to Brian's mom, by the way. But anyways,
We still have to get you up to Canada and go ice diving or whatever they do up there. I don't know.
yes, you still got to take me.
Right? What is your one of your favorite places to go outside of your own establishment to go for dinner? Where would you go?
um, I like
Which order?
to I like to have a couple drinks. Well, just happens to be that every time I walk to my car, it always happens to be around Leo's bar, and I have to stop in there for a drink. But I like to go see the guys over at Barachos, Lance and Sarah over at Moo, Chrissy over at Mermaids. I don't know. I kind of just shoot around everywhere. I go see Dave at Pink Cadillac, Danny over there Bottoms Up, had Chewy up at Cat and Man. I mean, Carla at Scully's, Jill's. Just kind of shoot around all over the place. And those that support me, I like to support them.
Yeah,
And
it's one thing that really impressed me about Rocky Point was that the restaurant owners really support each other.
Yeah.
And I never hear anyone saying anything bad about any other establishment. So that's super impressive, I think.
Yeah, we're in the same fight. So we have to learn to coexist. And I don't see anybody as competition. I see as them my friends, and I wish the best of them, and I'm sure they wish the best of me also.
Of course. And where would you take your girlfriend on a date night out?
To a taco stand, come on, Loretta.
You were single
late
for
night
how long?
tacos. Late night tacos are the best.
And what would you say that most tourists wouldn't know about a certain spot, place to eat or go on beer, like a little, only the local people will know?
Well, if I told you, then it wouldn't be only local people knowing. I don't know. There's a lot of local places to go to in town. Man, there's just a variety in it. And although people may say, oh, like, for example, taco stands are the same, they're pretty much different.
Uh-huh.
But I like, for example, once in a while I'll go eat over at La Curva, over at Jesse's Caretas.
Yeah.
Those are the places I don't frequent very often. Um, but every once in a while I'll go there and have some lunch or have a drink or something like that. Um, maybe over even like places like Ricky's Wings. I'll go there once in a while, have a drink. Hunters would go there and have a drink or something. But those aren't places I frequent very much. But those are more local oriented
Right.
places. I just like I mentioned, I just mostly support those that support me.
That's good. And can you give us a rundown kind of your happy hours or anything you got going on this week and next week for Thanksgiving? Do you have anything special?
Well, we're not really particularly a turkey kind
Right.
of place, but um, we have nothing really special going on for Turkey Weekend. Of course, the same old fun, same beautiful views, and same great service and good drinks. But our happy hour is I believe one of the best in town. Um, we offer 30 peso beers on the weekdays, 45 peso mixed drinks, and that's pretty good because it seems like some of part of town is starting to get a little pricey,
Right.
and some of it is no reason to. But hey, if I can afford to sell my beers at 30 pesos with a view, I think other people can do the same thing without a view.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And
Yeah.
did you get my little wine bottles yet?
Of course, I got them in the back. Come on. Put me on the spot like that.
You knew I was going to have to bring it up sooner or later.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
said, Naftali has them for me.
So let me ask you now, Loretta. How long have you been in Rocky Point for?
I moved here when just after COVID started.
Oh, yeah,
22.
nice. Well, what have been your dislikes about Rocky Point?
My dislikes,
Uh-huh.
well, the dump, like the garbage dump. It's terrible. Like we live by the water. I like to think that our food is super healthy. Fish are out of the sea, our beef and everything. It's not pumped with steroids. But then we have this garbage issue I just bugs me.
Yeah.
That's
We,
probably my biggest pet peeve, mostly because of last week.
yeah.
It's so fresh in my mind. I'm like, oh my god, it's one of the things I don't like.
Yeah, they canceled school last week one day. Although the smoke was horrible, like 3 or 4 days, but it was one day where um, school was closed. But actually, by the city said, "Hey, we're everybody go get your kids, and we got to close these schools." But really, the fire's been burning for a long time, for years. So it sparks back up, and then but what we have to wait for is not so much for them to put it out because they seem to have a hard time with it, but for that wind to change. And it may be in the summertime we don't see it because that wind is going from south to north. And in a dead winter time we don't see it also because that wind is going from north to south. So
Yeah.
so we're kind of, I guess I'm kind of more waiting for the wind to change rather than them putting it out.
Because it's probably a better chance of the wind changing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
supposed
Maybe there's not enough water in town to put it out. I don't know.
I don't know, because I feel for the people that live closer to that, and I know there's people that live out there, and I just can't imagine how horrific that is. So when you say what the dislikes, that's I think there's so many good things about here. My plan was not to stay here. I was only going to stay here until my work visa got renewed because of COVID. Immigration was closed, but then I didn't want to go back because I got up every morning, walk my dog along the beach, and I just this place is amazing. The people are great. I love the size of Rocky Point. I find like meeting people like you and Engelbert and those guys, like it's a town where people really reach out. I was in Scottsdale for many years since 2016. And I could count on one hand how many times someone invited me over for dinner. And here I probably don't even have to cook because I have so many friends that say, why don't you come over? Why don't you come over? Let's get together.
Yeah.
It's just such welcoming town. The culture is great. all that is amazing.
It is. I agree with you 100%. And that's one of the first things I said is the family values that still exist here in this town. So
Yeah,
you need to marry a Mexican next to not worry about your paperwork, Loretta.
right. You're too short.
So who's too short?
Mexican guys are too short.
Woman, I'm 6 foot tall. What are you talking about?
You're some other blood in you. There's something you're not telling us about your past.
My buddy Juan's like 6'8". Are you kidding?
There's something in that water or something.
Exactly. But no, I'm glad that you have found the same thing that I found.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't die out, and I hate to say it, but it is. Society is changing as a whole,
Yeah.
and we're just seeing that we're not seeing the same family values there anymore, and not even amongst the local community. And it's kind of a shame to see it go.
Yeah.
But it all starts with us, and we can't change anybody, and what we do with our kids is that's pretty much all as far as we can go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we the leaders in the community have to set an example, and I think you do a great job of that. So,
Well, thank you.
anyways, I know everyone's getting excited to go watch some football and that kind of stuff. I still have to finish my hockey jersey, by the way.
But do you have a 49er jersey?
Not yet, but I'm hoping one's coming down the pipe soon.
Oh,
I can wear it for Super Bowl.
yeah, right. Are you talking about this 49 from San Francisco, or
Yeah,
which ones are you talking? Oh.
well, of course. Of course.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Bruce Reagan wants to know if is this a dating site?
Oh, Bruce knows I love him, and I
Yeah.
would date him anytime.
There you go. And Sonny just wanted to remind you that he fell off that swing twice. Yes, he's definitely
Well,
coming to do some shots with you.
You are yeah, exactly. If you have fallen on the swings, you may be compensated with a shot.
Of course. Okay, everybody. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Next week, we're not going to have a show because of Thanksgiving. So everyone's going to be busy eating their turkey. And the following week, we have the manager of Intercam. We're going to be talking about how to open a bank account in Mexico, in Rocky Point. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks again, Jose.